Hi, everybody. This is the technology plan for Thomas Edison National Historical Park. I'm Michael Cuff, and thanks for being with me for a few minutes. My research in this plan really identified some pretty key issues going on with the local national park. They are behind the times. They're really lacking in equipment. They're lacking in funds. If you've been to a national park, most people think trails, but people forget about the things like the historical artifacts in the buildings. A lot of times their equipment is outdated because they're forced to do more with less and less funding. So we identified a lot of key issues, particularly with connecting to the public, the lack of software. They don't have the money for Adobe, things like that normally. Maybe on a limited basis, but not for a whole staff. They've got limited experienced staff, some of which are only in for 6 months and then they're gone. There's not much of an incentive to learn and to grow when you know you're only going to be there for such a limited time. They're identifying that lack of funding as a really key critical issue. They barely have enough for staff, let alone anything else. Lots of challenges. So where do we go? How do we bring these national parks into the 21st century when it comes to connecting with the public in a way that they expect? They expect the internet. They expect all that stuff available. A tech plan. That's how we do it. Having a plan, setting some goals, pointing ourselves in a direction, and then actually taking the brave challenge to go forth. So I identified two critical issues with my research that the park was having a problem with, and that was really connecting efficiently and effectively with technology. Using the tech to get to the public, having a better social media profile, using Skype. That's a new thing for national parks, but it's an old thing for the rest of us. Virtual connections, having the virtual tours that people expect a national park to have, or 3D imagery, so you can put on your Oculus and look around a room. That's the public's expectations today, particularly in the United States. So we identified a bunch of goals. These are things that involve customer service, using technology, improving the way we connect, but also improving the way we connect by use of technology. So they're identifying them and then setting goals that need to be reevaluated, identifying what they're doing, looking at it, and then improving on it. It goes back to those identified problems, connecting with the public with technology and improving virtual connections. How do we do it? My recommendations were updating the equipment they already have. They do use iPads for Skype, but they're old, first generation. They're 320p, so they're not a very crisp, clear image like you would expect, particularly if you're calling from across the world. You want to be able to see who you're talking to and what they're trying to display. A calendar that updates the staff regularly. A lot of the things we found with the research was that there's a lack of communication between divisions. So sometimes the people talking to a school group might not know a worker is going to be working on a window at that particular moment, which, impacts education, impacts learning. One of the other things we really identified, particularly because of the coronavirus, is the need for for the workers to be mobile, to have laptops. So if they do need to work from home, they can still be productive. We can still do the nation's business. Improved customer service training. This park, particularly Thomas Edison, is not known for bad customer service, but customer service can always be improved, and all new employees need to be brought on board with defined expectations of customer service. And then lastly, one of the things we really need to look at when it comes to connecting to the visitor is connecting in their language. Not everyone that visits a national park speaks English. A lot of people in different places speak a number of languages. They come from all over the world. We need to be available for them in their language so there's no confusion. There's no chaos. That just breeds to good order within the park. It benefits us in the long run. Now, how does it cost? My recommendations were laptops for the staff, were to get Wi-Fi hotspots so they can walk around the park with their iPads and Skype to their heart's content, connecting to the public, buying a camera that takes quality images, buffing up and really punching up their social media profile, their Instagram accounts, these alternative ways of connecting to the public. A DSLR also usually has 4K capability, so you're filming quality video that is then shared with the public. Updating their software, buying Adobe, having that available to the different park rangers so they can be creative, they can create content. And then, of course, the public demands Wi-Fi everywhere you go today. So having routers placed in key locations throughout the park that amplify a signal enough that the park visitor gets Wi-Fi. Having that connectivity allows them to maybe use an audio tour on their cell phone, using the Wi-Fi versus using their cell, their minutes, which is always helpful. People like that. Now, my budget that comes out for this for only 12 months now for a startup is $17,557.88. That's pretty substantial. The follow-on cost every year is going to be around $2,800 when it comes to software and the Wi-Fi hotspots. There's things that we could do to maybe bring those costs down, but that's something that we would have to look at. Setting a big goal doesn't mean we can't revise it to something a little smaller. So now, how do we make that happen? How do we get there? What's the point of making a plan if nobody's going to go in that direction? One of the ways is to create a project team. Get people involved that actually care, get them together and start hammering out the details. Creating a calendar where people can consult, they can know what's going on. The leadership has to be better at speaking with each other. And then we have to research better ways to connect. Park rangers aren't IT experts, they're not education experts. They're normal people that are learning on the go at their job. But it doesn't mean they can't learn about tech. Do that research, do that homework. And then one of the big things that this course has taught me is grant writing. Why not take the chance? The worst they can say is no. But if you write a good grant, you're going to write another grant next time a little better, and a little better after that. I think just writing them as a secondary skill for the staff is something that promotes money coming into the park. It also might help them in the long run when they go to another career. Now that's it for the program. That's it for my tech plan. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact me. You've got my primary emails right here. Reach out with your questions. I'm happy to answer them. Now that's it for the program. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.